Versions and environments in Dialogflow allow you to deploy multiple versions of your agent. This might be needed when you want to have individual environments for, say, developing, testing, and deploying your agent. Each environment can also have versions associated with them. Let's see how we can create a new version of the agent, how to create and publish to an environment, and how to change which version is being used in the environment. So in the Dialogflow console, you see the environments option on the menu. When you click on it, you see that the draft is the current version being used, and that's the case. Draft will be the version that you always the active one. So if you publish a version, we can say order pizza only, and then we naming the environment and the version in a way that allow us to see and know what that agent is dealing with up to that point, for example. And then we decide which environment name we want to associate that and we want to publish that version to. So let's say that the ones that we, the functionality and the features that we have so far developed in our agent, we want to send them to test. So we click test. We do have a cloud function, so we'll leave that checked. If you had no fulfillment in your agent, you could choose the no fulfillment option, but we do have fulfillment. So let's leave cloud function. And then publish. That creates a version of the current agent that we have developed and send that to the test environment. Now let's make a modification because we can publish to a version, but then we can continue making changes to our agent. So let me save and switch to the entities page and create an entity, let's say, for the type of crust for pizza. So let's say we enter a thin crust option, maybe a gluten-free, a thick crust, or a flatbread. We save that entity. If we go back to the environments page, we see that the test one that we deployed did not have the crust entity on it. We can still roll back to the version by clicking on it and choosing load to draft. Yes, I'm sure. Once we've done that, if we go back to the entities page, you see that the changes that we made are no longer there because now the active version is the one that we deployed to the test environment. And we just loaded that to the draft one, which is always the current one that we're working on. So that way you can switch different versions from one environment to the other, say development to test to production, and allow to have isolated versions of the agent where you can make changes and test them as needed.